coast to coast, it's your hosts, the Lombardi Leap and Mersey FB. This is Beyond the Frozen Tundra.
Hello, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, the Lombardi Leap, here with Mersey FB. Let's talk about a wonderful Thanksgiving that I think all Packers fans had. Wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. I hope everyone had their brooms out for a sweep for the Lions. First time since 2020, right?
Since before Dan Campbell took over.
Yeah. So
we never swept the Lions as Dan Campbell has been, since Dan Campbell has been head coach. I'd also like to say that, Matt LaFleur out Dan Campbell.
Yeah, Dan Campbell's 1 for 7 on fourth down of late.
Yeah.
It's some outrageous number.
The Packers went 3 for 3. So that was nice to see Matt LaFleur channel that inner dog in him, if I might say there. I mean, obviously Packers win, sweep the Lions 31-24 in Detroit again, which is a huge win.
I was pretty close on my score prediction there, right?
I believe so.
I got 31. I can't remember what I said that they would score. What the Lions would score.
Yeah, I think you were pretty close on the score there for sure. And I think I nailed my one of my players, because anytime either one of us seems
the other one didn't play. We both nailed, or you nailed Micah. I got Watson. So,
and none of us picked Dontavian Wicks.
No, none of us expected that. But hey, I got Watson's stat line almost exactly correct. You called Micah's stat line.
Micah Parsons hat trick. I'm calling it a hat trick.
It should be a hat trick. Unfortunately, my defensive pick broke his ankle. So that one will suck. We'll get to that one. But he did have a TFL. He did make his presence felt throughout the game before he broke his ankle.
That's going to be hard moving forward. It's going to be interesting to see what the Packers do here. I mean, Devontae Wyatt, he is been placed on IR here, done for the rest of the year. That's been confirmed here, just kind of based on the damage to his ankle, the fracture there. Super unfortunate injury. I mean, we saw what it was like without him. I mean, you lose Tucker Kraft, you lose Devontae Wyatt. So basically, the Packers are guaranteed to go to the Super Bowl, because a lot of these similar injuries happened on that miracle run with the Aaron Rodgers and losing some key players there. Now, if they do activate Marshawn Lloyd, it's going to be almost identical to that Super Bowl run in 2010. That's going to be kind of crazy. We'll have to keep an eye on Marshawn Lloyd here. I mean, obviously, Quay Walker didn't play. We get a little bit of a bye week here. It sounds like LVN should be back. We'll know more this coming week. Quay Walker should definitely be back, as well as Nate Hobbs. I mean, it seems like in certain areas the Packers are getting healthier, but in others, like that defensive line room, DTs, I'm a little bit concerned here moving forward.
Yeah, looking at the injuries of what has happened, it's like the players preseason who you were like, oh, if any of these people go down, it's not good. And so that's kind of happened. But I will say, at least for me, I am not overly concerned about the defensive tackle group right now, which is crazy to say. I think that when Carl Brooks gets back, that'll help as well. Warren Brinson, I think, can really take a big step here with the more snaps that he can get to play. Nazir Stackhouse to a point as well. I don't think Nazir Stackhouse is much of a pass rusher at this point, but I think he can hold the point of attack. He can stuff a couple run gaps, and it's not far-fetched to say that Warren Brinson has been outperforming Colby Wooden this season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially considering the fact that Warren Brinson was a 6th-round draft pick, right?
Oh, yes. Warren was a 6th-round draft pick, and Nazir was a UDFA.
Yeah. I mean,
prior to
Nazir
UDFA.
Stackhouse has,
But
yeah. I mean, he only played 5 snaps, but it was all primarily run defense snaps there.
mhm.
Like, I've been impressed with Nazir Stackhouse. He's been trying to get better. I mean, but Warren Brinson, I understand why he honestly was a 6th round, why he got drafted before Nazir Stackhouse. I mean, it makes sense to me now. I mean, more as we kind of move in.
No, it definitely makes sense. Like Nazir had the medical red flag, but looking at it on tape this season, it makes sense why Warren was drafted higher. He's a better, higher caliber athlete, so on and so forth. But you see too with the cheetah package that they're running on 3rd down or like 3rd and long, like the obvious passing situations. Warren has been the defensive tackle there because he can stop the run if they decide to, and he can pass rush better than Colby Wooden can.
I mean, I know that I mean, it'll be nice to get Quay Walker back, especially as we're coming up against the Bears here, which we'll talk about in our next episode. But I mean, Isaiah McDuffie had back-to-back Eric Wilson games. What on earth is going on?
I know, it sucks to say. I mean, like credit to McDuffie, but like I'd rather play Hopper over him. But if McDuffie's going to keep doing that, then sure.
Absolutely.
I just think like coverage is an issue with our linebackers, but
yeah. I mean, but I'm fine with a 5-yard pass to a tight end, you know,
mhm.
like versus a instant first down with Keyshawn Nixon. But I mean, Isaiah McDuffie though, 10 tackles, like he was the highest graded player on defense for PFF with an 87.0.
That's craziness.
So,
good for him.
Yeah. And that's saying a lot because you're playing with Micah Parsons, who again went off, hat trick, 3 sacks. I'm calling it 3 sacks. I don't mess around with that. That was completely Micah Parsons there.
He got there first, so like.
And then who was that? Warren Brinson who finished up with him, I think. Because I know Warren Brinson.
It was JJ Enigbari.
Oh yeah, it was JJ. Yeah, it was JJ Enigbari. That's right.
He should have had 1.5 sacks this game, Enigbari, but due to Keyshawn Nixon, he only has half a sack.
I know. Dude. Oh man, I mean Keyshawn Nixon is.
Before we like hop on the hate train, can you tell me the PFF grades for Javon Bullard, Carrington Valentine, and Edgerrin Cooper, and Warren too? Just because I haven't looked at them.
Yeah, Javon Bullard, 71.2, a 75.3 coverage grade.
That is great for him.
And then yeah, absolutely. Carrington Valentine, 29.6 coverage grade. It was a bit of a rough game for him. Like there was one play where a lot of people blamed Bullard for it. It was I think it was 3rd down to the tight end. And what a lot of people don't understand is they run that a lot, actually, where you think that Bullard's supposed to come down and cover the tight end, but what Hafley does a little bit of deception. And this is one thing that I've kind of harped on Carrington Valentine for is just his understanding of the defensive system. And instead of him, he's supposed to be the one supposed to come up and take the tight end in coverage. But he didn't. He went back with Bullard. And so, again, that was a big, big mistake by Carrington Valentine. Another big mistake by him, I would say, was that poor excuse for a tackle where he tries to throw his shoulder.
That was bad.
Like, oh my goodness. Yeah, terrible. Absolutely terrible. And then Keyshawn Nixon, 41.7 coverage grade. Oh, man. I can't even.
Oof.
It's so bad. I mean, I thought Keyshawn Nixon was worse than Carrington Valentine, like in a lot of areas.
But on film, it didn't look like CV had an awful game either. Like watching the game, and he didn't look bad. Like
no,
Nixon just sticks out like a sore thumb. But
Nixon sticks out like a sore thumb because it's a guaranteed first down when you throw at him, and that's why they keep throwing at him.
We've established we can't take Carrington Valentine off the field.
No.
When Hobbs comes back healthy, I don't think it's right that Bullard gets kicked off and Hobbs plays the slot. But I think, do they try it with Hobbs on the outside instead of Nixon? Or do they sit Hobbs too and play Haddon over Nixon because Nixon just can't keep getting trotted out there.
I think they try Hobbs again, and I do believe I'm probably one of the few people that does believe that Hobbs can play outside still.
Oh, I think he can. Like I physically think he can, but
It's
if his
just it's a
if his
mental
mental
aspect
game
of
is
it.
there, yeah.
That's the big thing with it. Like, I'm hoping it clicks again, but we'll have to kinda see with this knee injury. Part of me wonders if the knee injury was a little bit more exaggerated, so that way he could kind of get some stuff underneath his belt and get a little bit of a reset here.
Hmm.
I believe that Hobbs' best football is ahead of him because Hobbs has better natural talent than Keyshawn Nixon has, and he has better techniques than Keyshawn Nixon has for a corner. And so if Halfley can take Keyshawn Nixon and make Keyshawn Nixon average, you know what I mean? At times, average. Like I will say that. I definitely have faith that Hobbs can go outside and play at a high level because he is 6'1". He's 6'1", 190.
He's got the physical attributes for sure.
And he
And
does get his head around.
mhm. And one more annoying thing about Keyshawn Nixon is he always is just talking on the field. Like he's always trash talking, and then he'll let a catch
Burnt.
go for like 15 yards on him, and then he'll get up and keep trash talking. Like, what are you doing, dude? At least play
Yeah.
to back it up.
Oh yeah, yeah. It blows my mind. Like that's the one thing I respect about Nate Hobbs too. When he was getting cooked, he just was quiet, and
Yeah.
he was like, I gotta play better. I admit it." And since we're on the topic of the defense too, I mean, Micah Parsons obviously is our pass rush. Like realistically, I can't believe I'm saying this. I look forward to having LVN back because Rashawn Gary just doesn't play full games. Like I don't know what his deal is at all.
Yeah. I think just quickly imagine what this season would look like if we didn't have Micah on the team.
I think you could reverse our record.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it feels like we. Part of this issue is just because of how superhuman Micah is too, and he can play pretty much the entire game. Rashawn Gary doesn't have that same like level or conditioning, and so I don't know why it hasn't been instilled in him. But he has never really has had to play the full game before because like there was rotations with guys going back to the Smith brothers, and then when they had LVN rotating with him, JJ and Igbari too. So you would like him to play yeah.
like I know that LVN can play the full game. Like you know what I mean? If need be. 'Cause LVN just looks like he's in better condition.
Hmm.
And so, like, I get why people would be frustrated. I'm not saying Rashawn Gary's contract is bad because Rashawn Gary does a lot of stuff for the run. That is a big reason too why the run game is run defense is as good as it is. But he is a pass rusher. He needs to pass rush, and at the moment, it kind of seems like Rashawn Gary's playing himself out of Green Bay.
Unfortunately, it does feel that way. But and when Micah is getting like double or triple teamed and no one else can get home, that's kind of an issue too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doubling back to your point about being excited to see LVN come back, you saw the flashes of his development last season through training camp and through the start of the season before he got hurt. So hopefully he can just continue that.
Yeah, yeah, you definitely saw like the year 3 jump.
We have two impactful edge rushers instead of just one. So
I mean, we do have. I again like have liked what I've seen from Baron Sorrell. I think he goes out there every week, and I've seen there's a lot to like there. I kind of wonder what they're gonna do about Brenton Cox Jr. still. 'Cause, like,
yeah,
I
that's my
heard
question. Any word on him getting back healthy yet or no?
well, from my understanding of it, Matt LaFleur said a couple weeks ago that they'll bring him back when they need him.
Oh, so he's just going to leave Green Bay then because they probably won't need him for the rest of the season. Unless Gary goes down.
Yeah.
But like I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what's gonna happen there. Because like, if they cut I think they can bring him back on, like, a okay contract going into next year, especially. But again, we'll talk about that. We're getting way ahead of ourselves, so we'll talk about that in the offseason. Like, overall, again, this defense is taking steps. It seems like this is one of those instances where it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back with
The corner
Devontae
room.
Wyatt going
Oh yeah,
well, with
Tay Watt.
Devontae Wyatt going down. I mean, the corner room, it's never 1 step forward, it's always 3 steps back, it seems like most of the time. I mean, but everybody kind of had a bad game in the secondary too as well. I mean, Xavier McKinney was graded out at 39.6 in coverage, and JMO was just kind of doing some work there.
Yeah, but also JMO doesn't really have the same game if like CV makes a tackle.
Yeah. There was a lot of missed tackles.
And there's a couple missed coverage assignments too. Like it was just kind of like a weird game from our secondary.
Yeah. Overall, though, it definitely felt like a more complete game by both sides of the ball. And getting in, I think we can get right into offense here. I mean, offensively, again, Matt LaFleur, would you say both these 2 weeks, he's called a really, really good game? Even 3 weeks?
Yes.
Is that?
Oh wait, maybe 3 weeks ago was the Eagles loss. No,
No, not.
no,
No. Okay. So not the Eagles. Yeah. That would have been the Eagles loss. I mean, Minnesota game, I like the way he called the game.
no. It was New York.
Yeah. Yes, New York.
Yeah, so I like the New York game too. New York was So New York, Minnesota, and the Detroit games have all been called great for the game plan.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like Matt LaFleur has been the one to take over. That's the only thing I can think of versus like Stenovich and all them being more involved. 'Cause
Yeah.
I see them talking less. And I think Steno actually went into the offensive line room, and maybe that's why Belton got the start at right guard. Like I know Belton had allowed 6 pressures, but he was definitely a big benefit in the run game. So I think moving forward, Belton is your de facto starter. And again, you and I have both talked about this. Rasheed Walker, I would start rotating, but that shit, I understand if they don't, because it is your left tackle spot and you want to be as consistent as possible. But I'm very happy with them starting Belton. And how are you feeling about Sean Ryan here?
Yeah, so just a couple thoughts based off of that whole what you said there. I think Matt LaFleur has taken more control of the offense because you see him on the sidelines, right, working on the play sheet, looking on his iPad during when the defense is on the field. And then Steno going back to the offensive line room is a benefit. I think Belton does start at right guard. He had 6 pressures, but he was also working against Aleem McNeil, and Aiden Hutchinson would loop inside often. So for your first NFL start against that defensive front isn't like ideal, but he made it work. Sean Ryan is proving himself at center to the point where I'm starting to question why we played Elton at center.
I know, right?
At the start of the season. So, like, if Sean Ryan was doing what he's doing now with 2s during training camp, I would have said, all right, Sean Ryan's the center. We're going to keep Elton at left guard. We'll move Banks to right guard and see how that goes. And we'll play like Tom and Walker at tackles. But that aside, we've harped on Rasheed Walker this year so far for good reason, in my opinion. And I think it's time to start rotating Morgan in, because you see Rasheed Walker struggle so much with like speed rushers, and then he often gets walked back into Jordan Love's lap.
Well, Wiley did have some better chips this game. I will say that. Like that really did help. That really did help Sheed, especially when it came with Aiden Hutchinson. I think Hutchinson only had like 2 pressures the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was he's had his lowest pass rush grade all year, and I think it was his lowest since 2022.
Wow.
Like a 58.6 or something like that per PFF. Yeah. So they had a plan for Aiden Hutchinson a lot. Like it seems like they're doing a lot better game planning for like when a team has a really good defensive end. I mean, compared to the game against like the Browns, especially where they hyper focused on a player.
They can simulate it in practice, at least, with a hyper good defensive end.
Yeah, exactly.
But one more thing, Rasheed Walker, got to give him credit for getting that fumble back.
Oh, yes.
Like, applause to him. Good job. Great football IQ. Thanks for covering up Romeo Dobbs' mistake.
Are you asking me to rant about Romeo Dobbs? Is that
No,
what
no, no,
you're
no, no.
is that what you're asking me
We'll
to do?
get there in a minute. We'll get there in a minute. Going back to like the whole offensive design, I think it worked better too because you saw Jordan throw it more. And
Earlier too.
Earlier, they were more aggressive on first and second down instead of just going right to run plays. I think a part of that too is getting Dontavian Wicks back. He out of the slot, he opens up the offense a lot, especially with Watson on the outside.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I also think that this Packers offense is starting to realize how to properly use, and I think this does include Jordan Love specifically here, when to properly use Romeo Dobbs and who the offense should flow through. Like I know everybody wants to say that, or they want to say, oh, there's no wide receiver one on this team. There is. There is a wide receiver one, and whether people like it or not, it's Christian Watson.
For now. That's subject to change. I think what they're trying to get, Wicks is firmly the wide receiver 2, in my opinion. In the near future, they will have wide receiver 1A and 1B with Watson and Golden. And then I don't know how they'll deploy Jaden Reed, but that's like a embarrassment of riches problem slightly down the road.
I think that's a 2A, 2B kind of a thing.
Okay, yeah.
Because, I really do. I mean, 1A, 1B, Christian Watson, Matthew Golden, 2A, 2B.
Mm-hmm.
Reed and Wicks. Because Watson and Golden can interchange. Watson and Golden can interchange. You know, Golden can play outside at the X. It's not as obviously because he is a little smaller. He's only like 6'6". He's only like 6 foot, but he has that 4.2, 4.3 speed. And Watson again, same, fast, can play. Definitely is your premier X. Whereas with Reed and Wicks, both of them can play the slot very well. They're very well slot receivers, and they like to stick Reed outside every once in a while. We've seen that happen. That's honestly part of the reason why he broke his collarbone, unfortunately, was because he was running an outside route. And Wicks, honestly, Wicks looks better in the slot, this is just my opinion, than he does at the Z.
Yeah, for sure. Strong. He's got strong hands, too.
This year, knock on wood, every other year, I'm going to knock on wood here. I'm hoping it remains consistent here moving forward. But offensively, they have come to realize, it seems like, again, who the offense should run through. Not Josh Jacobs, who's, again, really good running back. And they have begun to properly use Romeo Dobbs. I'm fine with Romeo Dobbs on that touchdown pass in the end zone.
Yeah.
That's a great use of him. That is the perfect scenario in which you use Romeo Dobbs because that's where I trust him at. Other than that, though, if you're not in the red zone, I don't really want to see Romeo Dobbs out on the field.
They're also figuring out Luke Musgrave too, how to use him recently. And
he's just a wide receiver.
He's just a bigger wide receiver, yeah. So
that's really all he is. He had some blocking where that Josh Jacobs run, I think it was the first half, where it should have been a touchdown.
Jacobs tripped him though.
No, he didn't. I watched it multiple times. They might be thinking of a different play, but Jacobs was going up the right sideline, and Musgrave literally just fell on his butt.
I think I saw that one, but it looks like Jacobs' feet kind of got in there, so I wasn't entirely sure.
No. I wish. I would love to make that excuse for him, but no. Musgrave just sat down.
Oh, no.
That's literally what happened. Yeah, not the greatest. I just don't get it. I don't understand it. But, hey, like you said, though, they were using him a little bit better. Jordan Love, again, 4 touchdowns?
4 touchdowns, 234 yards, 18 of 30 through the air, QBR of 94.9, and an overall rating of 124.2. Or a passer rating of 124.2.
Yeah. Jordan Love, welcome to Toyotathon.
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving.
Didn't take a sack, too, important to note.
No, he did not take a sack. It was a very, very clean game. I can't really think of any dangerous balls that he threw either. Maybe, you know what I mean?
Yeah. The tight window, 4th down ones were iffy, but it was the only thing you could really do.
It's tight windows. One thing is, I think there's a difference between tight windows and errant throws.
Oh, for sure.
And, some of them were contested catches. People were like, oh, Watson dropped it.
PI or DPI.
Yes. Very bad. But I'm not going to complain about the refs. I've said this a couple episodes ago. I don't expect the refs to be good.
No.
I never expect the refs to be good. And like they weren't really calling anything for both sides unless it was completely blatant. You're dragging a dude by the face mask down by the neck, which did actually happen, by the way. Jack Campbell was called for that. Other than that, though, like these refs were like, just let them play, which I was like, I'm okay with, especially when they're letting it go both ways.
Mm.
So I'm not going to complain about the refs. What it is. Anybody who does, like, you just have to expect the refs to be bad at calling football
Circling
games.
back to Dontavian Wicks, he made some incredible catches, though. Like the touchdown catch. The first touchdown catch
that
was incredible on 4th down.
And not to be a homer, but the reason, this is what people don't understand about this, because a lot of people are fighting on X especially. Like, well, it wasn't a catch. It is a catch, and here's why it's a catch. The ball hits both of his hands.
Firm possession right there.
Right there. So that's foot 1 going down. Foot 1, firm possession. He brings the ball in specifically with his controllable hand, which is his left hand. The left hand never leaves the football and brings it into his chest. That's not a bobble. You and I both know the difference between a bobble and somebody bringing a ball in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And there was nothing that gave an indication that there was a bobble there. And he got his other foot down. Like that's a catch any day of the week. So that's why it was a catch. And what people need to understand is that, again, left hand, that's his established possession hand. He's bringing it in with his left hand. His right hand may come off of it, but his left hand never leaves the football. Not once. And he goes all the way down and controls it. So that's why. But yeah, I mean, Dontavian Wicks, 6 catches, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns. Go off, dude. Good for you. Prove the haters wrong. I'm fine with it. Just keep catching them, please.
Yeah, please God, just keep catching them. Yeah, like Watson was clutch as always. You wish he could have, like, even though he like had DPI committed against him, you wish that you want him to play stronger through the catch point.
I mean, when your hand's getting pulled, like it's hard to catch with one hand.
No, for sure.
Jordan Love's dropping a bomb.
I'm just saying, like, fight through it more.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I just think they were dragging on him all game, and the rest were letting it go a little bit too much, But he did fight through it on not Avonte Maddox, Amik Robinson.
Yeah. He just flat out ran by Amik Robertson, and then Amik Robertson took to Instagram to complain and say that he was a bad corner.
Like, dude, you're 5'8", 180 wet, and Watson is 6'4", 225. It was only a matter of time, man. Like, I would yell at your coach for putting you on that matchup than anything.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not going to end up well. And it didn't end up well. I mean, defensively, obviously, Micah Parsons was a highlight of that game through and through. I'm fine with us with 24 points for Detroit, because I do think Detroit is a playoff team.
Yeah.
Even though they might not end up in the playoffs, just because it is a tougher division.
Well, they have the offense for it for sure, but like, I mean, I think the game is closer if Amon-Ra doesn't get hurt midway through. But
yeah, I mean, the way our secondary played. But I mean, you could say the same thing about us.
Yeah.
Like Tucker Kraft not playing, Matthew Golden not playing, Jaden Reed not playing. Like, it's unfortunate that injuries are a part of the game. I wish everybody could magically stay healthy. They just don't.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, though, I do feel like the offensive identity is being cemented here moving forward. And I think this is a psychological shift for the Packers.
Oh, it's a trendsetter of a game for sure. When you think about where we are this year compared to where we were last year, we're 3-0 in the division so far. Tripled our win total in the division from last year.
Tripled the win total. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And
swept the winners from last year, the NFC North champions, if you will.
Yeah.
Which, again, not our goal. Our goal is Super Bowls. It's nice to win. It's going to be nice.
We
keep our eyes
won't hang
focused and win the division.
Hang a banner because of this.
Yeah, exactly.
I think too, the next real test will be Chicago, because they're a team that is performing well this year. And then if we can keep this momentum going, I truly think we have a great shot heading into January and February.
Yeah, like last year, I think didn't we lose like 4 out of our last 5 games too going into the playoffs?
It felt like that. Oh, let me check.
It did not. I just
It
know
was
going
not
into the
good.
playoffs, it was not good. There was negative momentum.
We lost our last 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that was definitely not fun here.
and the
So
3 games we did lose were in our division. We
Oh,
lost
yeah.
to Detroit, Minnesota, and Chicago to wrap the season last year, pretty much. So,
yeah, not fond here. No, I was not fond of that. And so I like what's moving forward here. They're winning games. I guess I know we lost to the Eagles, but I still think they were in the midst of an identity crisis on offense, and it seems like that identity crisis is progressively getting over. The run game got better. The offensive line is getting better. We head into you win. It's tough to play in Detroit, in Motor City. You win that game, sweep the Vikings, get your 3rd turkey leg in a row here, and then now you're looking ahead. You get a little bit of rest, and I get Chicago did beat the Eagles on Black Friday quite handedly, but again, we'll talk about this in our Chicago episode here coming up, and we may even throw in a little draft episode here because I think you and I both have some people we'd like to take a look at, especially given the injuries on defense here.
yeah, draft episodes will be coming. Just
coming up quick.
I'm getting time in my schedule to actually build out a draft board now. So that's good.
I'm excited. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I know Packers fans, again, we had a much better Thanksgiving than most teams, especially the Detroit Lions, which I always love to see. Like next week against Chicago, big game here, important game. Packers right now are 6.5-point favorites going in as the Chicago Bears come to Lambeau Field.
That is crazy to me, by the way. 6.5-point favorites against this Chicago team.
I won't spoil it. I know why.
Well, here we go. There's the motivation. Tune in next week for our episode.
Find out why the Packers are 6.5-point favorites while I give you my betting advice. I'm just kidding. Do not come to me for betting advice. Ever.
Gamble responsibly, everybody.
Yeah, exactly. That's all for today, folks. Until next time.
To Packers fans coast to coast, thanks for going beyond the frozen tundra. We appreciate you tuning in. And as always, go Pack Go!